Hello, and welcome to a master class on hormones called Happy Hormones, where we are exploring the glandular body typing and identifying what glandular body type you are in order to help you figure out how to best optimize hormone function and to feel the best in your body, which who doesn't want that? So, what is glandular body typing? Glandular body typing or metabolic typing, it's a system of assessing the basic health and personality characteristics of a person and their body shape. It was developed by Dr. Henry Bieler, who's an MD who healed patients with diet for about 70 years. And Carl Robinson and Steven Horne have both used this system for years in clinical therapy. So, little background for me. My name is Alicia Long, and I am a natural health therapist pursuing a 4-year degree in naturopathic medicine to become a naturopathic doctor. And so, I am always going to look at the body as a whole being and how to get to the root to heal the body holistically using plants and doing as little invasive harm as possible, which means oftentimes we look at, somebody comes in, a client comes in and has had a lifetime of thyroid issues. And oftentimes in Western medicine or other practices of medicine, we just immediately address the thyroid. However, in holistic medicine and naturopathy, we know that there might be other things going on. And the adrenals, for example, always back up the thyroid. And how do these different hormones and different organs in the body work as a symphony? If you think of a symphony, we're going to be using that analogy throughout today's chat. And so it might be brand new to you. You might have never thought of the body in this way. And it's actually a really fun way to explore your personalized and individual glandular typing. And you will learn so much just by simply finding out what your typing is. So the characteristics of each of the 7 glandular body types are the qualities that manifest when a gland is dominant or strong in the body. A list of symptoms or common health problems would also tie into that characteristic. And then what the person exhibits when the gland is weak or underactive. Okay, so each of us listening to this are going to have different weaknesses and strengths within our body. We're all different, right? And that's why you can't treat one person the same as you treat the other. Oftentimes, it requires muscle testing or hormone testing or knowing the person's blood type or, obviously experiences, what their walk of life has looked like, what traumas they've encountered. It all matters and it all mind, body, soul, spirit um, needs to be taken into account. So our hormones are a complex system responsible for the direction of hundreds of chemical functions, right? Most of us know that. It's a beautiful symphony, masterfully perfected, and really it's intended to harmonize. So what happens when it's not harmonizing? Well, to treat it as a simple one gland approach is kind of like expecting a professional master pianist to show up with a group of first-time musical lesson students. And what do you think that would sound like, right? You've got your masterful pianist playing. He's been playing for dozens of years, and then you've got students playing with him. It'd be a little wonky, right? It doesn't matter how well he plays. The rest of the group isn't going to harmonize. So likewise, an organ such as the thyroid, it is if it's functioning suboptimally, we can't expect the other concert performance level, everybody else to be playing to the best of their ability, right? So the entire endocrine system must be treated as a whole in order to get optimal performance. When somebody comes in, we kind of talked about that with the thyroid issue. We may be questioning other things during their evaluation. An important aspect to be sure that when we're talking about hormones, we also want to talk about nutritional elements. So how's your mineral uptake? Are you taking minerals? Are you remineralizing? Are you drinking filtered water to make sure you're not getting excess fluoride and arsenic and all the things that are in water? And if you are drinking filtered water, are you remineralizing the water to make sure your body's getting calcium, magnesium, proper sodium, all the things that you need? How are your amino acids? How are your fats? Are you supplementing with amino acids, or are you eating enough um, amino acids to sustain what the body needs? So like meat is a complete amino acid, but some of us are vegans or vegetarians. So how do we get those complete amino acids? I know right offhand, like hemp seeds are a complete amino acid that we don't have to get from meat. So it kind of depends on your body, your diet, your lifestyle. And we have to look at all those factors. Amino acids are the essential building blocks of hormones. Amino acids are the essential building blocks of hormones. We also know those to be protein, right? So that means addressing if digestion and diet is not up to par. Our blood sugar could be off, and blood sugar is handled by the liver, the adrenals, and the pancreas. So we have to look at all of that. Okay, so you are going to get a document. If you are a part of this master class, you're going to get a document that literally goes over everything I just said. Okay, so if you're feverishly taking notes, beautiful. I want you to do that. But if you're not, you're also going to get a document. So back to the symphony analogy. Let's think of the endocrine system as an analogy. I'm actually going to read something to you that came from Steven Horne's book. I mentioned Steven Horne. So first, we have the team responsible for this life-giving music, the endocrine system. The pineal gland right here provides the inspiration, okay? And the hypothalamus, a little piece of the brain here, creates the arrangement. So the hypothalamus is the arranger, the pituitary or the pineal gland is the inspiration. Now the members of the orchestra take stage. First is the string section, and the strings are right here, the thyroid and the parathyroid, okay? Next comes the woodwind section, represented by the liver and pancreas. The brass section requires some bravado, the adrenal glands, and those make their entrance with the symphony. Adding support and emphasis to everything else, the percussion section is the ovaries and the testes, the reproductive system. Now the soloist, the piano player that we talked about, is the thymus gland, taking his prominent position at the front of the orchestra. This is kind of giving you some insight into how the hormones play in the body, kind of like what their role is. And finally, the audience rises with enthusiastic applause as the conductor. Who do you think the conductor is? The conductor is the master gland, the pituitary gland, and that is the central hub of all things hormones. So it's just kind of a fun way to think about how the hormones and the endocrine system interface. There's a lovely graphic and image that I'm going to send to you that for those of you that are visual learners, it'll give you a nice little image and insight. So we talked about glandular typing. We talked about the endocrine symphony. So what kind are you? What typing are you? Well, I'm going to start with myself. I know you can't see my whole body, but I am an adrenal type. Okay. So what does it mean to be an adrenal type? An adrenal type, from a Hollywood perspective, would be Rosie O'Donnell and Sylvester Stallone. If you can picture Rosie O'Donnell and Sylvester Stallone. They're the brass section. They alert the entire army that it's time to stand and fight, or fight or flight, scurry, adrenals, right? Our adrenals are responsible for fight, flight, or freeze. And they interface in our body in a way to protect us, okay? Generally, women that are adrenal are shorter than 5'9". I'm 5'5", okay? And men are under 6 feet, so a little shorter, very muscular build, very sturdy. So if you're an adrenal type, take into account the height, but there's a lot of other factors. Adrenal's energy center is the solar plexus, which is the solar plexus is just above the belly button. It's the energy chakra. The color is yellow. So that's good to note. If you love yellow or you gravitate towards yellow, that may be a clue. Physical features, round or square head. Shoulders are wider than the hips. So you would stand up and you would have a friend or a family member or look in the mirror. Are your shoulders wider than your hips? Women typically have large breasts and men are V-shaped, right? The shoulders are wider than the hips. Okay. Sylvester Stallone. So already those characteristics starting to give you a hint. Solid, muscular, big boned, coarse features. If you're out of sync, if you're out of balance, you may have a beer belly. Short, thick fingers, strong hands. Hard worker, steady, practical, friendly, warm, social. Slow to anger, but you're not going to get pushed around, oriented towards physical activity. I'm actually dressed like this because I taught 2 fitness classes today and I feel amazing. And like I could keep going. Adrenal. Common health problems, cast iron stomach, seldom catches a cold. The weight problem would be kind of like if you overeat or have excess, don't work out, weight comes on quickly. But you can also lose weight fairly fast. Perspires easily, trouble sleeping sometimes because our adrenals are revved. Now, if we are an adrenal type, where we need to support the body is thyroid and pineal. If you are an adrenal type, we want to do all that we can to support the thyroid and the pineal. Number one, iodine. You need to be eating kelp, iodine tincture every single day. You can even put iodine on your thyroid if you are an adrenal type. Pineal gland, pineal gland can get calcified from excess of fluoride. Cut out all fluoride products. If you do your research, you will find it's not the right kind of fluoride, and that news is starting to come out. How do we strengthen the thyroid? Different herbs like capsicum and peppermint are really good. Eating lots of greens. Eat your greens, girls. Fruits and veggies. You want to strengthen the kidneys. How do we strengthen the kidneys? We can do meditation, sound therapy, specifically 432 hertz would be really great to strengthen the kidneys. Ashwagandha is wonderful for adrenals and kidneys. Parsley, asparagus, lemon juice, lemon water in the morning. You might crave meat and potatoes, depending on what blood type you are. That would be adrenal and salty foods, and you have really excellent endurance. So raise your hand if you guys feel like you're an adrenal type. Okay. You might already feel like, whoa, ding, 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 she got it. But we're going to move on. So the next type is called pancreatic. The pancreatic type would be Dan Aykroyd and Roseanne Barr. Okay. These are our chefs. These are our woodwinds, our bigger bodied. The pancreas balances the thyroid and the adrenals. In our bodies, our pancreas is part of the glandular system and digestive system. It produces digestive enzymes and insulin. Super important. So if you're a pancreatic type, your energy center is your solar plexus, or I'm sorry, your sacral chakra, color orange. So that's just below the belly button. And actually that makes sense too, because pancreatic pancreas, that yellow or that orange color, is going to come into play here. You gravitate towards orange. You should wear orange clothing. Orange is actually going to support you. Your physical features are your bigger boned, larger in stature. You can be more predisposed to obesity, especially if you're out of balance. And you're a combination of adrenal type and reproductive, which we haven't talked about yet. Reproductive is Beyonce. So that Beyonce meets Rosie O'Donnell, I guess, if you will. Larger hips, larger trunk, larger body build, food oriented, attracted to colors. You are friendly, playful, humorous, interesting, gourmet. Anybody? Anybody feeling this yet? Common health problems, gains weight easily. diabetic tendencies, weak liver, thyroid, and adrenals. Okay, so think about this. You're vibing, you're a pancreatic type, you're hearing it. It sounds like that might be who you are. I'm telling you right now you know your adrenal type. So if you support your liver and do a liver cleanse, if you support your thyroid, iodine, if you support your adrenals, ashwagandha, stress reduction, you are going to balance your pancreatic type, which is so cool. It's such a cool way to understand why this is important. The liver cleanse too, if you guys want to join our cleanse club, we have a cleanse club all year. The next round starts March 11th. So just reach out. Let me know. We're going to do a community liver cleanse together, and that might be really good for you. Balancing factors. We want to strengthen the thymus gland, which is your immune system. This is where your immune system lives. And we want to take liver building herbs. Some liver building herbs would be like dandelion, dandy blend, dandelion tea. Eat more fruits and veggies, especially greens. And then we want to avoid fat, bad fat, not good fat we want to keep. Avocados, nuts we want to keep. But processed fat, canola oil is going to be really bad for the pancreatic type. And again, wearing orange clothes, and then you may gravitate towards blue or green foods too. What are some blue foods? Blueberries. I'm trying to think of what some blue foods would be. Eggplant, blue foods. And again, you'll get this document. Okay, what's the pituitary type? Pituitary is the conductor, the boss, tells all glands when to start and when to stop. It's our mental chatter. Generally, women are shorter than 5'5", and men are shorter than 5'8". Okay, so our pituitary Hollywood people are Kevin Hart and Pink. Kevin Hart, Pink, even listed on here is Scarlett Johansson and Tom Cruise. Okay, so think about that. Height, shorter. Energy center is the third eye. It's the pituitary, pineal, right? Color is purple. Small in stature, delicate features. The shoulders are slightly wider than the hips and a little wider waist. Shoulders are slightly wider than the hips. You look younger than you are. You're a hot grandma. You have a baby face. And you get baby fat all over. So when you gain weight, it's everywhere. Women tend to be smaller breasted, blood type O's. Now, that's not a pigeonhole. Doesn't mean if you're not an O, you're not a pituitary. It's just typically pituitary or type O. You can easily put on weight since your metabolism is slower. Dysfunctional lymphatic system, often fluid retention. Okay, so this is really important. If you are a pituitary type, you are going to want to focus on lymphatic drainage. Go get a lymphatic drainage massage. Dry brush every day. You brush towards the heart, towards the heart. You have all these beautiful lymphs going throughout your body, and you want to get them moving, okay? You're intellectual, you're idealistic, you're curious, you're philosophical. You have mental obsessions, and you're high stress. You really obsess over things. Weak digestion, probably from that chronic stress. You can have chronic allergies. That's a lymph issue, right? You can get headaches, weak joints. Okay, so how do we strengthen? How do we strengthen the pituitary type? You strengthen the reproductive glands. So the ovaries, the testes, anything reproductive, which would be like red raspberry tea, Kegels, reducing stress. Gosh, there's so many things. Physical activity is really good for you. Mucilent herbs like marshmallow root, licorice root, ginseng's really good for you. And you want to eat more fat. You need healthy fat in dose. So avocados, olive oil, nuts. You need that fat for your brain, right? Because you are a pituitary type, which is strong in the brain, and you need that fat for all functions. Learn to pay more attention to your body. Are you pausing? Are you slowing down? Because your color is purple, wear more purple and eat more yellow. Eat more bananas, squash, peppers, eat yellow. And you probably crave dairy if you're a pituitary type. which be careful with dairy because it's highly inflammatory. You might be attracted to raw food, vegetarianism. You don't really crave caffeine and you sleep 7 to 8 hours. You need a good amount of sleep and your highest energy is in the morning. Okay. So you may be thinking, gosh, Allie, I'm a mix. I feel like I'm adrenal and pituitary. That's okay. Nothing is like a hard and fast fact. It's just taking a look at where you vibe, where you resonate, and what you align with most. Reproductive type is next. And as I mentioned before, that's Beyonce. So you've got like 30-inch breast, 26-inch waist, and then 39-inch hips. Okay. In the symphony analogy, the reproductive system is the percussion, the drum, badoom, badoom, from drums to bells to cymbals, all the musical things. This is our pulsing blood, our beating heart, our breathing. It's our instincts, our urge to create. It's mother. It's a mother, right? Majority of reproductive type are women. Our energy center is our reproductive center, our pelvic floor. The color is red. Are we vibing already here? It'd also be like a Kardashian, right? I picture like a Kardashian. You've got the sway back, the saddle bags. I don't like that term, but a larger rear end. You put weight on the hips and the thighs. You're motherly, you're magnetic, you're warm, you're friendly. You have a lot of close relationships. You enjoy crafting and cooking, and you're quick-tempered. Um, and you like rich, well-made things. Typically, you have PMS problems, bladder infections, or water retention. Okay, so if you have PMS, bladder infections, and water retention, we'd want to focus on the kidneys, right? That would just make sense. And we also want to strengthen the pituitary gland. Um, Sorry about the dogs barking. We want to strengthen the pituitary gland. We want more mental activities. So some of us are more physically active, but mental activities like, gosh, I'm trying to think of what a good mental activity would be. Maybe you have a job that requires a lot of brain stimulation, or maybe you sign up for a sport or a hobby. Maybe you puzzle, maybe you craft. And you want to eat more bitter herbs. So yucca, alfalfa, gentian. Um, you want to eat more fruits and veggies, especially greens. You want to avoid inflammatory fats, strengthen the kidneys. There it is again. So kidneys, kidneys, kidneys. Get out the water retention. How do we strengthen the kidneys? Parsley, asparagus, lemon water, schizandra herb, astragalus, ashwagandha, breath work, quiet time, rest, de-stress. And you want to wear red clothes because that color is red. You may crave, do you crave spicy? If you crave spicy, you might be reproductive, or if you crave rich foods. Um, you sleep 7 to 9 hours. So this is another one that needs more sleep. You seldom have trouble going to sleep. You're that person that hits the bed. Your energy is highest later in the day. Again, not hard, fast facts here in terms of like you have to be every single one of these. It's just what you vibe with most. Okay, thymus. Thymus is Fabio, and I forgot this actress's name. She's in your packet, Linda Carter. You guys remember Linda Carter? Think of like your Disney superheroes, thymus. And in the symphony analogy, the thymus is the grand piano soloist. Our thymus controls our immune system and is the center of our ego. So self-esteem, self-respect, ego. And your color is green. So I'm actually not a thymus, but I'm wearing green, which is your heart. The color green is your heart chakra. And that's because you're very compassionate. You're very passionate. You're very va-va-voom. You're a combination of thyroid and adrenal. And the thyroid person we haven't even talked about yet. It's a string bean, taller, leaner, and that adrenal type is muscular. So that means you're tall, you're muscular, you're Fabio, you're Linda Carter. Tall with large chest for men, and women are very shapely and well proportioned. These are like the models, the supermodels, 5'7", taller. You're sentimental, sensitive, excessive concern for love. You love hugging, you pat on the back, you're very physical, you're very verbal. Common health problems of the thymus, allergies, lymphatic problems, overactive immune system, and weak liver and pancreas. So if you're a thymus type, you're going to want to focus on liver cleansing and liver building and supporting the liver. Pancreas support, which is digestion, reducing, yucky fats, focusing on reducing sugar, which will help with the allergies, and really getting rid of sugar will help with a lot of things. We want to strengthen the pancreas, and we can do that herbally. Which if we want to strengthen the pancreas, let's go back, if you guys remember, to the pancreatic type. How do we strengthen the pancreas? We've got blue foods, blueberries, fruits and veggies. I actually don't have any herbs listed there for pancreas. So I'll put some of those in there for you. We want to channel our feelings into constructive action. So what does that mean? We're feeling really all the feels about something, and we need an outlet. Maybe we need prayer. Maybe we need meditation. Maybe we need a kickboxing class. We want to channel that energy somehow. And we want to take herbs to build the immune system. What are some immune system building herbs? Dandelion, elderberry, ginseng, ginkgo. There's lots of herbs that build your immune system. So think immune system with thymus. And then you'd wear green, just like this. And then you would eat red foods, apples, tomatoes, radishes. Trying to think of all the red foods. Okay, thyroid type. In our symphony metaphor, the thyroid and parathyroid, thyroid and parathyroid fall under the string section because they tend to be wiry, stringy people when dominant. The thyroid controls metabolic rate and thus energy levels. Thyroid is so important, you guys. If you think of it too, the thyroid is the first line of defense. Any toxins in the body, that thyroid is taking on the toxins, and it's the last line of defense for the brain, right? So it's taking on a lot. And then also from the brain down, it's kind of like our control center of toxins. So we really need to support the thyroid with iodine. And most of us are iodine deficient. Generally, women are taller than 5'10", and men are taller than 6 feet. So if you're my tall string beanie, gosh, I don't even know this Hollywood actress's name. Picture supermodels, taller. I just can't think of one offhand, but their energy center is throat, color blue. Okay. Your throat chakra, your communication, how you speak to the world, how you interface with the world. Tall, long, slender arms, long fingers, a higher waist, distinct long neck, fine bone structure, oval face, dancers and models. And then you gain your weight as a jelly roll or a spare tire, and you can gain weight in your thighs as well. Curvy waist, shoulders are as wide as the hips. So the shoulders and the hips are in alignment. You're intellectual but emotional. You're artistic. You love words and conversations. You're changeable, lively. You love to travel. You're sensitive. You have a high, strong nervous system. The chronic health problems would be fatigue. You get fatigued because you're doing so much. You have variable energy. You have poor circulation, cold hands and feet. You have digestion issues. And that means that our weakened adrenals need to be supported to support the thyroid. And we've talked about the adrenals quite a bit. Your adrenals, your fight, flight, or freeze, just above the kidneys on our back is where they're located. And they have a lot of responsibilities hormonally with keeping our stress regulated and our water balance, our electrolytes. Like it all plays together. So we want to strengthen the adrenal glands and the pancreas with things like ginseng, licorice root, nervine herbs like chamomile, astringent herbs like bugleweed, red raspberry. We want to release the hiatal hernia and strengthen digestion. So there's a massage technique to release your hiatal hernia. You can look it up. Release hiatal hernia. And you lay on a massage table, and the therapist would move your stomach. Essentially, I've actually had it done. And it's super helpful, but I only have it done by somebody that knows how to do it. And strengthen your digestion, gut health, gut health, gut health, gut health. Um, Obviously, you hear probiotics and prebiotics is a big buzzword, but if you are getting your probiotics and your prebiotics from kefir, kombucha, sauerkraut, lots of fiber. Up your fiber, guys. Get in 25 grams of fiber a day minimum. Everyone, every body type. Eat more protein if you're a thyroid type, to strengthen your digestion, which will also give you more amino acids. Wear blue and green, and then eat orange or red foods. Eat oranges, eat tomatoes. You might crave sweets, and you may miss meals. If you're a thyroid type, you might not need to have every single meal. Okay, so we have done it. We have made our way through all of the different glandular types or metabolic types. If you found yourself thinking as you were listening to this presentation, I do find that I fall into one of these. What I would do is I would take a look at the handout, look through it again, and make little check boxes of which one you vibe with the most, which one you resonate with the most. And then if there is a secondary, you could also draw benefits from the second one as well. And simply what that means is like if there are herbal recommendations or dietary things that you could tweak and change, it just gives you insight into your body. If you do want to book an appointment with me, we can go over your glandular type in depth. And we can also do some muscle testing to see where your weakened organs or nutritional points might be. We can do an oligo scan to test the heavy metals that reside in your tissues. It's phototherapy. So instead of blood work or testing through urine, we're able to actually get into the tissue to see what your heavy metal levels, mineral levels, and some different things going on in the body are. Just a lot of cool tools that we can use. So yeah, hormones. And I think a lot of us listening to this maybe we've been told, or maybe we've felt in our life like, I feel broken. I feel like my hormones aren't working. I feel like I've been put on birth control my whole life, or an IUD, or I have to get hormone replacement therapy or bioidentical hormones. And I just want you to know you are not broken. You never were, you never are, you never will be. It's all about the symphony. It's all about orchestrating everything together and starting with those smaller changes, those changes we have control of, like diet. If you're an adrenal type, you're going to want to reduce your coffee because it's going to rev up your adrenals. Just the simple um, change of iodine each day, tincture of iodine or putting iodine. If you put it on externally, it's a little messy. So you may not want to do that unless you have like a goiter or any sort of protrusion. So anyways, just simple changes, simple things that you can do. So I know many of you are going to have questions. You're going to watch this presentation and say, okay, I've got my list of questions. Book a 30-minute appointment with me. You can go to my website, sunnyandholistic.com. It's like $30 for us to chat for 30 minutes by Zoom or by phone, whatever works for you. And I can answer your questions. I'm more than happy to. I definitely I'm not a doctor yet. I don't claim to know everything by any means. I'm always learning and I want to learn with you. So I would love to answer your questions if you have any. I do hope that this cool new tool that you have in your toolbox is helpful, beneficial, and that you learned something new about your body. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here and signing up for this master class. And glandular typing is definitely something that can be an ally to you. So I hope you use it. Everyone have a fantastic day, and until we meet again, thank you.